How's it, everybody? Welcome back to the Rocky Fern. In today's episode of Show Me the Green, we're checking out this beautiful Hoya, Hoya Kaimuki. Alright, this plant has such a cool history to it. So it is a hybrid Hoya. The parentage is Hoya McGillivrayi from northeastern Queensland, Australia. A really big blossom plant. Beautiful, beautiful Hoya that is from Australia. I think that's so cool. And then it's paired with Hoya archibaldiana, which is from Papua New Guinea, which is just right across that little sea bridge there. A beautiful, beautiful Hoya, another big flowering Hoya, and it was created in Kaimuki, Oahu, and that has such a cool history to it. So Kaimuki, it literally means Kaimuki is the tea oven, and they used to roast the roots of the tea plant or cordyline and make a kind of like a sweet dessert type product with it. Traditionally, Kaimuki was kind of a hot, desolate place. They had to pipe in water. It took a lot of convincing to get people to populate Kaimuki. In the King's days, they used to use it as a signal hill. There's one really big prominent landmark there that they used as a signaling place. And then it is butted up right against Diamond Head Crater, also known as Leo Crater. And another really cool fact is, I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Brother is, Israel Kamakaviviole. He was raised and grew up in that neighborhood of Kaimuki. So a very cool big leafed Hoya variety, just beautiful. The front side, very rigid, very smooth, glabrous. It kind of has these indentations here. You can see here, I've got some pictures of some new leaves that kind of look like a Hoya Crinkle 8 with those abs in it. But the bigger leaves you can see here, they maintain a little bit of that dimpling. The backside on some of these leaves have some darker veination to them to give a little bit of a contrast. I'll show you on this leaf right here. It is not tomentose at all. There is nothing fuzzy about this plant. The stem, the vines themselves, the petioles, the leaves, they're all glabrous, very smooth, very shiny, very thick. I'll post a picture right here. This is my hand next to the profile of the leaf. You can see it is 1/16 of an inch thick. It's very rigid. It does sport a little bit of the petiole spurs that a lot of Hoya do right here, right at the base of the leaf, which I think is always kind of interesting and cool. I'll post a picture right here of how I found this peduncle. It is, normally it's being kept outside, right on the underside of the garage. So it does get some direct morning sun, and then it's pretty much just bright shade throughout the day, which I think this plant really enjoys. But it climbed up and through the rafters and decided to throw off this peduncle, which, getting it down to make this this video, I ended up destroying the peduncle. It broke off. So kind of sad, but also it doesn't need to be rooting up into the ceiling of my garage. But as far as the flowers go, I got a lot of close-ups here. You can definitely see the pollinia. You can definitely see how the corolla and corona are kind of fused together on this beautiful big flower. Look how big this is. It does have a slight smell of rose, and I'm assuming that if I hadn't have broken off this peduncle, that smell would be a lot stronger. Some of the flowers on certain Kaimuki varieties can be lighter to like a light pink from this kind of maroon color, to even more of the archibaldiana side, which are kind of white with like pink stripes. So they range in all kinds of shades of pink, kind of playing off the parentage a little bit. Beautiful, beautiful Hoya. Now, I don't know if Hoya Kaimuki, being a hybrid, is viable as far as producing seed. I would love it if someone commented and said they were able to produce seed from a hybrid. Now, I don't know if plant hybrids are sterile like a lot of animal hybrids are. It wouldn't surprise me as close as the McGillivrayi and the archibaldiana are, even though they're separated by that C, that pollinators are able to kind of transplant pollen, and that they could hybridize in the wild, and that those hybrids could produce viable seed. Hoya's being a vining plant, this definitely likes to vine. I definitely need to get some sort of trellis going. I am going to start playing around with moss poles. I think Hoyas on moss poles just go hand in hand. I haven't seen too many people doing that, so maybe they don't, but I'm going to try it and see how well they do, especially for big leaf varieties. I think the moss pole would give it tremendous support that it needs and the ability to anchor in and make it happy. But that being said, It does like to throw off a lot of good vines, a lot of big leaf. It does need support to get these the weight of the leaves without snapping the stem. I got this particular Hoya over a year ago from an Etsy shop called Slow Hoyas. Very good experience. I haven't really purchased from them too often, but I bought 3 Hoyas from them. They're still going off today, but it was a 2-leaf cutting. Had a little tendril, 2 leaves, and that's it. And here we are from February 3rd of 2023 to now. You can just see how much growth this thing has put on. And it is a bit of a slower grower. I love how dark and robust these leaves are on this plant. A very cool winter. So I keep this particular Hoya in a hodgepodge of soil that I made at the time with whatever I had, which is pretty typical of what I do. But looking at it, it definitely has some orchid bark, has some cocoa chunks, pumice, perlite, a little bit of lava rock in there, and it's doing really, really well. It has a slow release fertilizer I use in there. I do think I need to top it up with a little bit more, and I water maybe once to twice a month, perhaps, maybe every 3 weeks, just depending on how hot it's been. With the amount of rain we've had, even though it's kept under the overhang of the garage, it has been getting watered sufficiently. I was so thrown off to see that peduncle. It's just, they're so beautiful. It's definitely a plant I recommend for anybody to have in their collection. Hybrids, being that they possess the hybrid vigor, it's much easier to care for a hybrid than it is either one of the parenting plants. Not that Archibaldiana or McGillivray are difficult. You're definitely shoring up your bets if you do the hybrid. And Kaimuki, Hawaiian original, I love it. I'm gonna definitely put this on a trellis, get some height to it, still maintain a chain right here so I can keep it hanging, but I definitely recommend it. I didn't do any close-ups with macro shots because the flowers are so big, the leaves are so big. I think it's just as easy to get you in close to this plant the way I did via this video. And if you like what you see, definitely like the video, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next adventure.